Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the world's most ambitious and, most controversial conglomerates, the Adani Group. So how on earth did a single company get so woven into the critical infrastructure of the world's largest democracy?
I mean, just think about it. From the port your goods arrive at, to the energy that powers your home, all the way to the news you might watch. The Adani Group's reach is just massive. We're talking ports, airports, green energy, AI data centers, cement, food, and even media. It's truly an empire of everything. So how did this all happen? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We'll trace the whole journey, from the founders' really humble beginnings to that huge pivot into infrastructure, their massive bet on a green future, all the controversies that followed, and what the group says is its ultimate vision for India.
Subscribe to Siyun for more fascinating, insightful, and wealthy stories.
To really understand the group, you first have to understand the man who built it all from scratch, a first-generation entrepreneur named Gautam Adani. His personal story is absolutely central to this entire empire. His journey started about as far from big infrastructure as you can get. As a teenager, he actually dropped out of college and moved to Mumbai to work as a diamond sorter. Then, by 1981, he was running his brother's plastics business, which is where he got his first real taste of global trade. And just 7 years after that, he founded Adani Exports. And this quote right here, it gives you a real glimpse into the mindset that drove that incredibly fast ascent. It's all about a relentless desire to build something of his own, and that focus on tenacity, well, that would come to define every single one of the company's future moves. Okay, so let's get to the crucial turning point, the moment where a small trading firm made a truly giant leap. This is where the whole story shifts from trading commodities to pouring concrete, bending steel, and building on a massive, massive scale. So, picture this. The year is 1995. The Adani Group, which is still mostly a trading company at this point, wins a government contract to manage the Mundra port in its home state of Gujarat. This one move, this single contract, would completely define its future and set the stage for everything that was to come. Mundra became the absolute cornerstone of their empire. From that one contract, the company just exploded, eventually becoming India's largest private multi-port operator. And this became their blueprint, their whole strategy: find a critical national need and then build at a scale that nobody else could even touch. But here's the thing. The Adani Group isn't just some traditional, old-school infrastructure giant. It's pivoting again. And this time, the focus is squarely on two of the biggest trends of our time: green energy and, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. The group has pledged a massive, and I mean massive, $70 billion for green initiatives. We're talking about building the world's largest solar power projects, manufacturing the panels, and investing a ton in green hydrogen. The goal they've stated is nothing less than becoming a world leader in renewable energy. And they are not stopping with green energy. A truly staggering $100 billion is being invested to build out the digital infrastructure needed for the AI boom. They're developing these huge, gigawatt-scale data centers, basically trying to build the very backbone for India's entire digital future. But as you can probably imagine, this kind of explosive, lightning-fast growth, it hasn't come without some major challenges. And in this case, some very, very serious controversy. Seems the bigger the empire gets, the bigger the scrutiny. In just the last few years, the group has diversified like crazy. In 2022, they became India's second largest cement producer, practically overnight. They also became the country's biggest airport operator. And in a move that got a ton of attention, they acquired a controlling stake in the national news broadcaster NDTV, which raised a lot of concerns about market concentration and media independence. And then came the showdown. In January 2023, the U.S. firm Hindenburg Research dropped a bombshell report. They accused the Adani Group of pulling off the largest con in corporate history, alleging stock manipulation and financial fraud. The Adani Group fired right back, calling it a malicious attack, full of misinformation, all designed to sabotage a public offering. But the scrutiny didn't stop there. Later in 2023, another report, this time from the OCCRP, echoed those allegations of stock manipulation. And then U.S. authorities brought a criminal indictment that included Gautam Adani himself, connected to an alleged bribery scheme for energy contracts. All charges the group is actively contesting. So, that brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle, the philosophy that the group claims drives all of this activity. It's a concept they call nation building.
Right at the core of the Adani Group's public identity is this concept. The whole idea is to align the company's business goals directly with India's most critical infrastructure and economic needs. A strategy that, you'll notice, has often perfectly matched government policy. Every single project is framed as a contribution to the nation's growth. This vision is often presented with the tagline, "Growth with Goodness." It even extends to their philanthropy, with a $7 billion commitment from the Adani family to improve healthcare and education in rural India. And they position this right alongside those huge green energy investments, all as part of that same nation-building mission. Look, the Adani Group's story is one of absolutely breathtaking ambition, scale, and, a ton of controversy. It's a story that is actively shaping the physical and the digital future of 1.4 billion people. And it leaves all of us with a really crucial question to think about. When one single company becomes so essential to building a nation, where do you draw the line between progress and power?
Subscribe to Siyun for more fascinating, insightful, and well